So, today I'm flying solo. This is completely me putting together something. Well, it won't be me putting it together. Rick will still be putting it together and editing it. But I'm flying solo. This is a quick idiot's guide to van electrics. I'll explain in a bit. I thought I'd do you a quick video on the electrics of the van. From a relative novice, even though I'm an electrical engineer, the electrics in the van was a bit of a mystery to me when I first started going into camper vanning. And there's been quite a few people on different sites that have recently received new vans and have found that they're having problems understanding the electrics. So you have a engine battery and a leisure battery. The engine battery will charge whenever you're driving, and the leisure battery will charge from either while you're driving once the engine battery is full, or from a solar panel if you're on solar, or from electrical hookup. Okay, what works off 12 volts and what works off 240 volts? In our van we have got an electric hob and we've got a microwave. Both of those will only ever work if you've got 240 volt, normally on hookup. However, you can get an inverter which will invert your 12 volts back to 240, but these tend to be not very efficient. Or if you're not on hookup, you can also, if you've got one of these power bank units, basically use that plugs into your power bank, and then that plugs into your blue socket outside. So that's another way of doing it. So those are the only ways that you're going to get 240 volts. So if you're trying to run a hairdryer or something like that, or an electric kettle, they'll only work if you've got a 240 volt supply coming into the van. Question that often comes up as well is about the fridge. Whether it's a three-way fridge or a compressor fridge, it's actually running off your 12 volts. It's still a 12 volt fridge. If it's a three-way fridge, it can run on the gas, but it'll only ever run on the gas when you're stationary. When it's a compressor fridge, it only runs off your 12 volts. It doesn't run off the 240. What happens is that if you've got on electrical hookup, the 240 will be charging your battery and that will be running your fridge. So that's the misconception that, you know, once you're on electrical hookup, your fridge is running because it's on electrical hook. It's actually still running through your battery. All of your lights within your van will normally be 12 volt lights as well. And the other thing, certainly with our eldest CV20, we have got the main lights that you can see that I've got on above here. We've got this small lights, I don't know whether you can see it there, and then we've got the lights in the kitchen area. The most efficient ones are these lights, so they'll use the minimum amount of power from your leisure battery. So if you're wild camping, not on electrical hookup, you're relying purely on your leisure battery, maybe you don't have solar, but if you do have solar and it's a horrible day or it's in the winter, the best thing to do is to choose the ones that will take the lowest power out of your battery. The other misconception that people forget about is that, oh, I'm on gas for my heating, I'll be fine. It's not going to use any of my leisure battery because I'm not on electrical hookup. I'm going to use my gas. Brilliant. But when you're got the heating on, you've got the fan running. The fan runs off your leisure battery. Again, if you're on electrical hookup, it doesn't matter. And if you're on electrical hookup, why use your gas when you're already paying for the electric anyway? So, like I say, a few things to consider. Another point that I read all the time is, how long will my leisure battery last? You cannot define that. You can have a real good go, but you can't really define it. The more you put your lights on, the more it will take power from your leisure battery. If you've got solar, if it's a dull day, you won't be getting so much charging your leisure battery back up. People will say, I don't like a compressor fridge because that's purely off the leisure battery. At least I've got the option of using it on gas if I've got a three-way fridge, which is correct. But I'm told that compressor fridges are actually far more economical with the power than a three-way fridge. The other thing is that we've found that we put ours on night mode and it keeps everything really cool. We have it on number 2 on night mode most of the time, keeps everything cool. Some tips: if your van isn't in storage and you have the option to be able to plug it into 240 before you go away, plug it in, get it cold before you put anything in. Try and put cold food in it. It sounds simple, but if you put something warm in, it's got to get it cold. If you put cold things out of the fridge into it, even if it's only just been switched on, it will help to keep it cold. Limit the amount of times you keep the door open on it. All of these sort of things will help, and all of these will increase the chance of, if you are off grid, that your leisure battery is not going to run low. And the other thing, of course, is that if you're wild camping and you're travelling, every time you start your engine, you will be helping to charge that leisure battery. There's several ways to check to see whether your 240 volt is on. If you have a microwave, you get the light coming up. If you have, like us, where we've got one electric hob, the light comes on there. Or, of course, you can just simply plug a kettle or hairdryer or whatever you are using into your 240 volt sockets. And we've got another one over there, as you can see. And you can also see at the moment the 240 volt is running without having the panel on. If I now switch the panel on, you see the lights come on, and on an Eldest CV20 we have the lights here. Oh, that switched it off, there you go. And we also have the light switch here for the main living area, and also down here is the light switch for the toilet. But if you switch that one there, they all go off. So we'll switch that one on and we'll switch all of the others off individually. And then that also switches everything off. Your consumer unit. If they look like what you've got in your house, they're for your 240 volts. So your sockets and that are all for the 240 volts. Your 12 volts are all fuses down below, as you can see. So that, I hope that's helped a few of you. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are regular to this, and this has been a boring and useless video for them, and the suck eggs scenario and all this sort of thing. For those that are new, if there's anything that you're unsure about, please, you know, drop a comment, a question in the comments section below, and we'll reply to you. As I say, I'm an electrical engineer, But a lot of this, I still even say to Rick now, so if I want to do this, how do I do it? It seems a stupid question for someone who's supposed to be an electrical engineer, but auto electrics, and particularly camper van electrics, it's something completely different. So I've had to learn, even though I've been in the industry, as it were, for many years. So no question is stupid. There's usually only stupid answers, and you'll get them off Rick. If you've enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing, or in one of our previous videos, please consider liking and subscribing, because apparently when I say it, it sounds too regimented or too boring or whatever. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it to the end, we'll see you in a future video. Bye!